What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another Fridge Financials video. In today's video, we get to break down somebody's budget. They reached out to me recently. They were like, Fridge, help me out here a little bit. This is my current setup. This is my current budgeting I'm looking at. This is what I want to have for the future. I have some goals to set and put in mind. Can you help me out? And I was like, what better way than to use Elise's table from Bigger Tables than to actually use it for some good here? Instead of just putting in my own numbers and toot my own horn here, why not actually help out people and give some ideas and kind of go from there? So if you're excited for today's video, make sure that you smash the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you've not already done so. We are closer and closer to 100 subscribers. I believe we're at like 87 or something like that. If you're watching this and we're not at 100, please make sure you add one more to get us closer to that goal of 100 by June, your budget. So we're gonna get right into it. So this person right here has a expected income. Again, as you can see over here, we're looking at they having a job in the insurance industry, and right now their income is looking at $3,418.14. They get paid bi-weekly, so I have those two paychecks built in there. Now this person right now is in fact living at home, which honestly, it's a younger person, so not a big deal, to be honest. I think a lot of us would love to live back at home. There's times where I look at my paychecks and I look at my bills, I'm like, dang, I wouldn't mind living at home for a year because I would probably have a lot more money saved up in my retirement and everything else. But, so the major goal this person has for the next couple months is to eventually move out and actually be living on their own. So, I mean, this is kind of like where this budget's going to be breaking down into. So, as you can see, right now their monthly budget is $3,418.14. And right now they do not have any bills really put into here. They told me they just pay for their gym membership and their Spotify accounts, which is totally fine. And a majority of the money is broken up into, literally the whole paycheck essentially is broken up into these categories. Now the regular savings it's like give or take, so it might be like $350 actually. But gym membership is $145. Spotify is a whopping $8. He tries to put in, $1,700 into a high yield savings account. Again, he says $850 per paycheck. So that's $1,700 per month. He puts in about $350 a paycheck, or about $700 a month. Roth IRA, $250 a paycheck, and regular savings again, $250 a paycheck, give or take. Now, with these values that he has right now, if he was to put all these in here as a result, he would actually be in the whole $134. So maybe he puts in like $350 here or something like that. Not 35 cents. Maybe he puts in $350, whatever. Again, the understanding behind budgeting is understanding where your money goes and everything else. Now, this is definitely like an amazing budget, but unfortunately, it's not the reality of what a lot of us face every single day here. But the nice thing is, that we're going to hopefully guide this person into those next steps of, living on their own, having rent, having food, gas, everything else. I've tried to account for everything I possibly could. They gave me some estimations they're looking to have. And then we'll kind of go into there. So this is the initial breakdown. Again, all their money is going towards either a high yield savings account, which is a great idea for sure, because you get about 4.5%, give or take. Checking account, sure, could be good for, maybe there's some miscellaneous expenses here. Maybe he does pay a little bit for food. I don't really know much about the current situation. We're focusing now on what happens when you are out and about and living outside of your parents' house and everything else, because when you make that first initial move out of your parents' house, it can be terrifying. I know for me it was. I was like, oh my God, here's a bill, here's a bill, here's a bill. It gets crazy. So, this will hopefully bring some light onto the perspective about what to expect when you do in fact move out. So a lot of his money he's saving up right now. Again, maybe it's the checking account goes towards, paying for food, maybe paying for their phone bill. But what I really want to dive into is the actual future here as to, okay, you're moving out now, let's talk it out, let's look through it and see what we come up with here. So here I have a new spreadsheet here. Again, this is their new job, as you can see, person one, new job. That's their name. Their name is person one. But the nice thing they told me is that they do in fact get a raise, or they just got a raise recently. So instead of making $1,709 per paycheck, they're making $1,790 per paycheck. So you're getting an extra like $80 per paycheck, so an extra $160 give or take per month in your income, which is great. Those pay raises are in fact, every dollar definitely helps. What you can see here is a list of bills, expenses, savings accounts, and I filled in all the expected values. Now, the expected values are what they reached out and told me this is what I would estimate I would be paying for maybe rent, for food, for phone, for gas of the car, and everything else here is laid out. And again, these were the quote-unquote expectations of where their paycheck was going before. Obviously, it's not going to be the same now because you have now bills to pay. Let's start off with rent. Now, rent, he expects to pay about $1,000 per month for rent. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are going to be living with somebody else. They will have a roommate. It might be a partner. I don't really ask too many questions about who it is. I'm willing to bet, though, it's probably going to be, he's going to have a roommate. He's not looking for someone to rent by himself for $1,000. That's just not possible. So, a rentable apartment for $2,000, cut in half, about $1,000. Yeah. I mean, that's about right. I mean, it could be, maybe we even go up a little bit. Maybe we give a little bit more leadway to this, right? So with what I want to do with this spreadsheet here, I'm going to go a little bit higher with these numbers because of just how, inflation kicks in. You don't really know sometimes what it's going to cost when you get into it. You don't know what's included with rent. Maybe they include the water. Maybe they include the sewer. Maybe they include nothing. Who really knows, right? So only time will tell. The food. Now, the food one, he is expecting $250 per month for food. And to be honest, I don't buy that. Because if you take 200, and I have a calculator here to back this up, so it's not just me making up numbers here. Take $250 per month, divide it into 4 weeks. That means you're paying $62.50 per week on groceries. Divide that by 7 days in the week. You're paying $8.92 per day, or $8.93 per day for food. Divide that by 3 meals in a day, not even counting snacks or anything else. You're looking at only an average meal cost of about $3. Now, with inflation, it's higher than that. You can look it up. I believe it's somewhere on like the $4, $4.50 mark, give or take. So I think that food budget is a little bit too low. And if you're cutting it in half, I still think it's a little bit too low. I mean, for myself and my partner, I think we spend about like $500 or so, like each per month, on groceries and everything else, because it's just expensive. Things, and especially if you want to buy the healthier stuff with the, vegetables, fruits, all that kind of stuff, it gets really expensive, right? So the average is about $4.50. So we'll say, $4.50 per meal times 3 meals in a day. So you're paying $13.50 per day. Times that by 7 days in a week. Times that by 4 weeks in a month. Your food budget bill is probably closer to be $400. $378. Again, obviously this number is going to fluctuate. I'm going to put in $400 though. And the reason why is because, again, inflation kills us. Things are always expensive and everything else. So $400 I think is probably a better estimate for what you're actually looking at for your bills. For the phone, I think phone is fixed at $30 a month. Totally fine. Gas obviously can fluctuate depending on if gas is up or if gas is down. I know that if they're moving out towards like the summertime, gas might be a little bit higher because of travel. But you guys have tried that one. So we'll leave it at $100 for now. Car insurance. Now, he told me that he was looking at a rate, and he was looking at $2,200 for the whole year. So he was looking at $2,200 for the whole year, which means a monthly payment of $183. That's where I got this number from. I don't think it's that crazy. $2,200 for car insurance, I think is a little bit ridiculous. I could be wrong. I only pay like $105 or $106 per month for my car insurance. So I would even want to say, what if we even do like $150? If I did like $150 a month times 12 months, even $1,800, I would think it's closer to $150. I could be wrong. Obviously, depending on what you want for coverage. Again, my coverage is $106, and it was like I think it was like 100 and something when I got a brand new car. Now, obviously, car insurance is going up through the roof. So by the time maybe you're watching this video, maybe the car insurance is a little bit higher. But even we do $170, we'll give them a $13 discount for being a subscriber to the channel, of course. Internet, about $40. I would say even, if you're splitting the internet bill with your partner, maybe $50, maybe it's $100. You might be able to get a new rate at $80 a month. I know when we first moved in here, it was about $80 a month. Electric and gas, again, I mean, $150 is, he put question marks for this one, so I went with what I usually go with. I go with 150, and I'm heating and I'm doing gas and electricity is like for a 1,200 square foot apartment, 1,200 square feet. So it's not like it's like a tiny thing. It is a decent space, but we can round up. The thing that's really cool about the spreadsheet is that even if we put our numbers too high, if we still fall within budget, we have extra room, which is great. So renter's insurance, $20. I mean, mine's like $13, but maybe you might go to $30. Just give a little bit more extra room for error. Water, same thing. Maybe it's $30. Maybe it's actually $40 with your water bill. Parking, I don't know. Again, it all depends on where they move to. Like our complex has designated parking spots that we pay for. Where we have a garage, we pay for our own personal parking spot. Some places do, some places don't. So I'll just put in $50 for parking, and even if it's not for parking at their complex, maybe it's for parking at their job, wherever it is, because he's in insurance, so maybe he has to relocate. I don't mean, he has to work more in person. I don't really know. So right now that puts us at a bills of $2,170. Again, with a $317 difference, as in $317 extra dollars, like given for room for error. Me personally, I love to give that extra percent error because, oh no, we didn't spend $317 more. We have extra money to then put back into investments, retirements, whatever. So I gave him essentially $300 out of 18. So you're looking at about like a 16%, extra room for error, just in case. Because again, we don't know these actual numbers until you actually start getting bills. Gym membership, we're gonna keep it $145. Don't want to touch that one. Spotify, I know that one's fixed as well. He wanted to put in $250 for miscellaneous spending, whether it's going out to eat, going out for sports events, whether it's going to the movies, whatever it is. So $250 a month, okay, I'll give him that for leeway here. So outside expenses that are not like required bills, these are just more of like guilty pleasures, I guess, is the Spotify Premium, the gym memberships, miscellaneous. I consider gym memberships an investment if you go a lot, but that's just me. So right now it's $403 in added expenses, putting us at a remainder of $1,008.40. Now, over in the savings, he wants to do $500 a month for the Roth IRA. I think that's definitely smart because you have a lot of tax advantages for it. He's getting close to that max of $7,000. Funny enough, he's only contributing $6,000 because if he does $500 a month times 12, that's $6,000. He's actually short $1,000 on his Roth IRA because the max is $7,000 this year. So he could, in theory, put more money in actually and make it max out at $7,000 to get the max return for it, but that's totally fine. That leaves you with about $508.40, as you can see over here on the top left. So $508.40 left over between a high yield savings account, checking account, and a regular savings account. Regular savings, I don't know what the meaning is to that. But we can just put in $100 just to still grow it, even though it's not going to grow that much because the average yield is like 0.5%. APY on that one. Checking account, maybe put an extra $100. Again, that might tie into the miscellaneous spending maybe because your bills come out of your checking account, as they would hopefully know. Maybe, again, you're giving yourself even more room for error or for spending with 317 plus 100 is 417. Even an extra 100 here would be $517 of plus or minus, which is great. That leaves us with $308.40 left over to put into a high yield savings account. So $308.40 puts us at an actual budget of now $0, which is great. And you're looking at 60% is bills, 30% about savings, and then 11% for expenses. Great breakdown for sure. And again, these are all fluctuating. You can take, maybe these are spot on, which they probably won't be, but you can add an extra $300 to your high yield savings account. Maybe make it $600, you can make it $600 maybe. That makes your numbers look even better for you for your investments. But for the sake of this video, we're going with a little bit more room for error just in case, because I always like to give myself that extra room for error. And it's backed by just me making up, not me making up numbers, but backed off of what the math you just saw with my calculator. For the food bill, for example, for car insurance, whatever. So it's good that we have that extra protection. Now, when we slide over into his investment section, okay, So this is what he has for investments right now. So he's got $8,900 in the Roth IRA, okay? And he's going to be contributing monthly $500 to it. So we're going to be able to put in $500. And I'm giving him an annual return of about 7% for a Roth IRA. Obviously, it depends on what the year is for the market. Usually it's 7 to 10. I'm going to lowball and go 7%. Totally fine. The high yield savings account is at, again, I put 4.8 because it goes from 4.5 to like 5.2. So I go like in between at 4.8. His high yield savings, he already has $10,000 in for an emergency fund. And then he's going to be putting an extra $308.40 in a month, give or take, obviously, on that one. Checking account, he's putting in an extra $100 at 0% because checking accounts don't have any interest. His savings account will get an extra $100. And then his 401k is taken out of his paycheck before this number. So this number before his actual income, pre-tax and investments is like a lot higher. So he gets $242 put into his 401k. So he has a personal Roth IRA, he has a worker's 401k, and this is where his investments are looking at right now. And on top of that, and if you want to see what you have for your portfolio for retirement, because again, Elise hooks us up big with this here, is that say you want to have 1.5 million investments, and say, I don't know, I guessed the birth year, maybe it's 1997, but it's definitely a younger, adult, younger than me for sure. Say you want to retire by 60, you would have $2.1 million to be able to retire at 60 years old with an average or with a monthly amount being paid out of $5,823 per month, or an annual income of $70,000 per year. And you can retire for up till you're age 90 at 30 years of retirement. And here's the graph that backs it up. Look at all that. That is wild. Obviously, you can keep going more and more and more. You'd have 11 million and everything else. But, this person right now is definitely in a great spot to really start to set up for retirement already, which is crazy to believe at such a young age. But it's a great spot. He has no debts. He's putting money into a retirement account. He's doing tax-advantaged retirement accounts. It's in a great spot overall. So, if you're watching this video, hopefully this helps you out with some budgeting here. Again, if you made this fun, the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you like the video and smash the thumbs up button as per usual. Thank you so much. Hope you guys are making money in the market as per usual. Oh, and before we leave, if you want me to look at your own budget, leave your comment down below in the comment section. Follow Elise at Bigger Tables. I will see you guys in the next video.